What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, and today we're going to be talking about rocket companies. I threw this post up in my private Discord and why I thought that we were going to see a breakout on rocket companies right after earnings, and what do you know, it happened. We're going to talk about that, but more so, this video is going to be a deep dive on rocket companies and what do I think of them as an investment going into the future. After this play, I've had multiple students messaging me and asking me what my thoughts are on this company, so I figured instead of just replying to them, I would go and make a full-scale deep dive video on the company, so that's what this is going to be. But before we get started, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. It's really that simple to just promote and help support small YouTubers like myself so that I can continue to put these videos out every single week. So with that being said, let's get started. Rocket Companies engages in the mortgage business within the United States. It's involved in originating, processing, underwriting, and servicing predominantly government-sponsored enterprises. The company offers its mortgage loans in all 50 states throughout the internet, national television, and other marketing channels. It also offers things like title insurance, property valuation and settlement services, online marketing and lead generation services, online-based personal loans, as well as car sales support services, and in the future, car sale loans. Now, one thing I do want to put out there is that they have no affiliation to Rocket Lawyers. Rocket Lawyers is a great company. I've used them a lot to create and originate a lot of leases and legal documents instead of calling up, a lawyer that you usually keep on retainer and using them to make these documents for you. That's a completely different company. So I want to put that out there because even myself thought that they had something to do with each other. Now, as we actually get into this company, one of the main things that I really like about rocket companies is that they are a disruptor. Disruptor companies are what I love to invest in. Some examples would be something like Uber, Tesla, Amazon was a disruptor at one point, and these are the types of companies that come in. Of course, they are very, very risky companies when they first start, but they come in and they change the way that we do business and the way that consumers do their day-to-day activities in a whole nother way. And we're going to get to how I believe this is a disruptor, but those are the types of companies that I have the most fun researching and the most fun investing in. Now, before we actually go into the fundamentals of this company, I want to just take a look at the play that I called out on my private Discord just a couple of days ago. And I want to show you some technical levels that you should be watching if you're going to be looking at this investment, within the near term. Right now it is November 16th, 2020. If not, you can skip ahead a couple minutes where we actually break down the fundamentals and financials of this company. You see right here, going into earnings, which was last Tuesday, we had a big bull flag forming. So a huge push up right here, a nice channel forming down here. After earnings, we actually hit lows of around $20.50, took a beautiful bounce, pushed up to the top of this flag pattern, which is what would be considered confirmation of a breakout, and now we are up all the way to $22.50, which if you would have bought from the bottom, you would have made about 10% returns. As well, on Black Box, there was an insane amount of calls coming in, and big whales were just buying the stock up pretty consistently all of last week. Now, if we zoom out a bit, you can see there are a couple major price ranges. Remember, this company just IPO'd not too long ago, so technical analysis on a bigger time frame is not going to hold as much weight as it would with a company that's been around for 5 or 10 years and has a lot more technical support and resistance levels. But we can see there is a strong support down here at $18, a pretty strong resistance at $25, a pretty strong resistance at $29, and then a pretty strong resistance at $32. As of right now, you can see that we're breaking out of this flag, and I do think that by the beginning to middle of December, we're going to see a really good rally from now until then, probably another 10% where we could push up to $25 and then eventually break out to the upside. Now, the reason that I want to put these technicals on the screen and I wanted to show you this, even if you are a long-term investor, is just to understand some pretty big price levels. But now let's look at some fundamentals and eventually the financials of this company. While Rocket Companies does a lot of other things, what they're really known for is originating loans. And with the real estate market being on fire for not only the past 10 years now, but really we've seen a huge ramp up in home buying within the past year, that is great for a company like Rocket. And this is because interest rates are so low. When interest rates go lower, more people end up buying up properties, and this is simply because it's cheaper. Over the long run, over the 30 years of your mortgage, having a 2, 3, or 4% lower interest rate can make up for not only huge amounts of money that you're saving every single month, but at the end of your 30-year mortgage, it could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So as rates go lower, more people start to buy, which means more business for rocket companies. The other thing to think about is that as rates go lower, the prices of homes become higher because there's a lot more demand because people want to buy properties at a lower interest rate, and there's a lot less supply because people who have good mortgage rates don't really want to go out and sell their house. They've locked themselves into a great interest rate, and there's no reason to, go out and buy another property. So right now you can actually refinance your house or a property for like 2.85%. That's what I have done recently with the house that I'm living in right now. And even if it is an investment property, one of your, first investment properties specifically, you can do an owner occupancy loan, go out and buy a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex, and still get that extremely low rate. Something to think about, and I've talked a lot about, is the future of REITs and the future of real estate in general. The way that Rocket does business is 100% online, and more specifically through the app, which we'll talk about in a little bit. This means that they don't have any overhead. They don't have to pay for, an insane amount of insurance because they're going to have different customers and clients coming into their offices. They don't have to pay for all the offices that they would need throughout the country because they do business in all 50 states. Most of all, they don't have to pay loan officers. So next time you purchase your property, or if you're actually purchasing a property right now, take a look at your closing costs. A lot of people think that your closing costs is just your realtor fees, but it's not. A lot of money goes towards title companies, loan officers, and literally there's a huge laundry list of all of these different things that you're going to get taxed and charged for. And the big thing is that Rocket Mortgage doesn't have to pay those loan officers because they use their app to contact their clients, and everything is done through that. So they literally remove the fact that they need officers on duty at all times to handle specific cases, which ultimately means more money in the pockets of Rocket Company. And while talking about a potential shutdown, which we're seeing throughout the United States once again, the fact that everything that Rocket does is 100% online is actually to their advantage. And now, while going back to the fact that properties of homes are continuing to go up and up, when you close on a property, a lot of your closing costs are considered in percentages. So if the prices of houses are continuing going up and up and up, then that means companies like Rocket will charge the same percentage that they would whether the price of the houses were extremely low or extremely high like they are right now, which means the company makes more money in revenue, and you as an investor want that to obviously happen. I mean, it's pretty insane. Properties that I've bought 3 and 4 years ago have actually gone up almost $75,000 on one of the duplexes specifically that I own. And it's nuts because that equity, there's so many people who want to go out and refinance that equity to go out and buy more properties, and that's why we're seeing a huge spike in real estate sales. All right, so you can see as of right now, Rocket Companies has a market cap of $44.7 billion. There are 2 billion shares outstanding. They have an EPS of $2.42 and a very nice PE ratio of 8.92. They are trading on the low side of their 52-week high. See here, if we take a look at their income statement, their total revenue are in millions. So 2015, they did 3.8 billion, 2016, 4.8 billion, 2017, 4.3 billion, 2018, 4.3 billion, 2019, 5.2 billion. So they are growing year over year, specifically over the past 3 years. And while doing that, they're actually raising their net income, which is pretty nice. So 2017, it was $771 million, 2018, $613 million, and 2019, $894 million. So it's good to see their sales going up and revenue going up year over year, but it's also really good to see their net income go up year over year, which is something that's extremely important to look at when you are reviewing financials of a company. We quickly take a look at the balance sheet. You can see here in 2019, they have total assets of $20 billion, and they have total liabilities of $16.57 billion. So I like to see a 2-to-1 when it comes to assets to liabilities. So if they have liabilities of 16 billion, I would like to see 32 billion, but still really not bad. You also have to remember these are 2019 numbers, 2020 numbers. They're not completely out right now. That's why I'm really not putting them up right now, but they are seeing huge growth year over year, which is great for you as a potential investor within Rocket Companies. Now, the big con and what a lot of people are talking about that could be potentially bad for Rocket is a housing crisis, or the housing market collapsing. We saw that happen in 2008, and a lot of that fundamentally was because of the subprime mortgage crisis. If you want me to make a video on that, I can explain all of that in the future. I don't ever see that really happening again. We have a lot of really good policies and practices in place to not let that happen once again, but then again, who knows, right? Nobody would have ever expected the whole Rona situation to happen to us. But I do believe that even if things were to lock down once again, even if our economy would have to go back to how it was a couple of months ago, we are seeing signs of hope. We are seeing vaccination news with Pfizer and Moderna today, and other companies like J&J that we'll probably hear from soon. And it does seem like things are looking up. And I will tell you, as somebody who purchased a home during the height of the Rona, people don't care. Like, they really don't. Housing prices keep going up and up and up. There is, not that much stimulus within the market anymore. We're trying to get another stimulus deal done. People are unemployed, but housing sales are continuing to go up and up and up, and it's because of these low interest rates. That's why the Fed makes low interest rates, because investors who have big money will go out, they'll buy properties, they'll rent them out to people who need housing, they'll rent them out to business owners who need to, get their feet off the ground and start the business or save the business that they have. That is what stimulates the economy. And with Fed Chair Powell saying that we are probably not going to even think about raising rates until the end of 2022, I don't see the housing market going anywhere for a while, guys. So what you think? Let me know if you are investing in Rocket. Hit the like button, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Subscribe to this channel. Check out my second channel, Traders Helping Traders, where I go over all technical analysis, throw out different plays that I'm trading, go over different earnings reports, news, and everything related to trading. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.